What is up everyone, this is Somnath Gaudar from Future Coders. In this video tutorial we are going to be building this simple, responsive, beautiful blog website using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So let's have a look at what exactly are we going to be building in this video. So we have this navigation with these navigation links, and these navigation links are going to have this hover effect as you can see over here. And next we are going to have the main important thing, those are these blog posts. As you can see, they look very beautiful, right? So for the post I'm also going to add this simple hover effect, as you can see, and we will also add this box shadow, and finally we are going to have this footer section. So guys, one more thing I would like to mention over here is this website is going to be completely responsive. So let me show you. So this is how it's gonna look in the last screens. Now observe, if I reduce the screen size, as you can see, it's still responsive. Everything still looks good, right? Now again, if I reduce the screen size over here, as you can see, previously it was having 2 posts. Now it's showing, as the screen size reduces, as you can see, it's now single post. And we also get this navigation menu, as you can see, navigation menu icon. Now if I click on it, as you can see, we have this nice little animation. Observe, as you can see, nice little animation, and as you can see, it's completely responsive. So guys, this is what we are going to be building in this video. So guys, before we start building this, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, and also don't forget to leave a like on this video. So, and also mention what's your views on this build. So let's start building this. Okay, here I have already generated the boilerplate of our HTML, and I have also linked the local CSS file and also the JavaScript file. So inside our body, let's start building this. First thing, I'm gonna build the navigation bar. So, and one more thing I would like to mention over here is I will be using comments throughout this project. So let's add some comments saying navigation starts. Let's make this a comment, and one more comment for navigation ends. Okay, inside this I'm gonna define a header tag. Inside the header I'm gonna have a div with a class name of container and also with a class name of header. Inside this, first thing, I'm gonna have a logo, anchor tag with a class name logo. Link is not going to go anywhere, and this is gonna say future. And inside this only we are going to have a span tag only with a dot. I'm going to make the dot a different color so that it looks nice. So okay, once we are done with the logo, next thing we are going to have a div with the class name of menu toggle. This menu toggle is going to be the icon which actually shows in the small screens. I need to import this from the font awesome. So let's head over to CDNJS, search for font awesome, and copy this link tag and paste it over here. Now we have access to all the font awesome icons. Here I'll be using I with the class name of FAS and FA bars. Now if I save that, then we have our icon. Okay, now let's define the navigation, actual navigation. Inside this, it's actually not going to be the div, it's going to be the unordered list. Okay, inside this unordered list, it's going to have a list item. Inside this, we are going to have a with href is not going to go anywhere. The first is going to say home, and this home is also going to be active. So I'm going to give it a class name of active so that I can have a different styles for that. Similarly, I'm just going to copy paste this. Second one, features, about, contact. Okay, there we have our unordered list or navigation. Okay, now we are done with the HTML part of the navigation. Let's actually style it. Let's head over to our style.css. I'm going to be using the custom font from the Google Fonts, so let's import those. Let's head over to Google Fonts. I'll be using the Open Sans. Okay, this one. Let's import the light 300. Let's close this for now. Regular 400, 700, and finally extra bold 800. Okay. Now let's copy the import code. Close this and paste it. Okay, now by default our browser applies some default margin and padding. I need to get rid of those. I will select everything and margin 0, padding 0, box sizing of not box shadow, box sizing of border box. And I'm also gonna add the font family which we already imported, that is Open Sans, and also a fallback font of sans serif. Okay, there we have our font applied. Now let's give the body a different color, background color of gray. Okay, little bit gray. Now remember I gave a class name of container, right? This container I will be using multiple times, so I'm gonna make it universal container. For that I'm gonna set the max width to 1200 pixels, width of 100%, and to make everything align centrally, I'm gonna use margin 0 and auto. Okay, if I resize this, as you can see, the max width is 1200 pixels. I think it should be from over here to I think over here, and I'm making margin 0 and auto, so the content is actually being over here. Okay, now once we are done with that, okay, now let's actually target the, remember I also gave an header class, so when this container is going to have the header class, it's going to be for the navigation. So let's over here define the container which is having the class with class name of header. I'll say display of flex to make everything align in the row, align items to the center, and justify content to space between. Okay, there we have it. And I'm also gonna add a padding 1 rem to the top and bottom and 0.875 rem to the left and right. As you can see, they are touching, right? They are touching to the sides. I don't want that to happen, so here 0.875 rem. Okay, there we have it. Now I don't want to display this menu toggle icon in the large screen, so I need to get rid of that. That's having the class name of menu toggle. Let's select that. Simply I will say display of none, so that it doesn't display. That's gone. Now let's target the header. I need to actually give it a background color and a box shadow. Header background color of white. Okay, now I need to actually add the box shadow. It's going to be a very big box shadow code. It's going to be 0, 0, and 0, and alpha value is going to be 0.1, 0 pixels, 10 pixels, 15 pixels, minus 3 pixels. Still I'm not done with border, sorry, box shadow. Still RGBA 0, 0, 0, and alpha value this time is going to be 0.05, and 0 pixels, 4 pixels, 6 pixels, and minus 2 pixels. Okay, let's have a quick walkthrough. Okay, that's it for the box shadow. Now I need to actually make the navigation actually stick, right? Even if I scroll down, you might have already observed in the final version that when I scroll, the navigation was actually sticking to the top, right? It was it was actually sticking to the top. Okay, it was fixed. Okay, here I will say position of sticky, it sticks to the top 0, and I also need to add the z index of 99 so that it stays above all of the content. Okay, now you're not gonna see that effect, but of course when I add some content and if I scroll, the header, this navigation is going to stick to the top. Okay, now let's continue styling, and I need to actually target the anchor tags. I don't want the default text decoration, so I'm going to set it as none. That's gone. And I also want different color for those. It should be 082032. Okay, that's the color which I want. Now let's actually target the header logo. I want that to be bigger, right? Okay, let's target that. That should be header and logo. For that I need to actually increase the font size or to 1.5 rem. Okay, that's big now. Now actually I gave it the dot is actually in the separate span, right? I can actually target that span. For that I will give a color of crimson. Okay, there we have the dot, a different color. Now let's actually target this navigation, which is inside the header and navigation. Okay, let's do that. Header, navigation, list style to none. I don't want those dots, so gone. And the display of flex, by default they are in the column, right? So saying column, sorry, display flex, it's gonna make them row. Okay, now let's target the individual list element, list item. Actually I need to add some space to the margin left of 1 rem so that it leaves some space, and I want the font size of little bit big, 1.1 rem. Okay, there we have it. Now I need to actually add some padding of, let's say, 0.4 rem. Okay, that's looking better now. Now remember I gave a separate active class for the home, right? Let's work on that. I gave a list item an active class. So when that list item is having an active class, I want a border bottom of 2 pixels solid crimson. Okay, okay. Actually the active class is being applied to all the list items, so let's remove that. Okay, there we have it, the active class. And I also mentioned that I also want to add the hover effect. When I hover, the border bottom should be there, right? So I'm just gonna copy this. Instead of active, I'm just gonna say pseudo class hover. Okay, there we have our hover, tiny little hover effect. Okay, that's it for the navigation, I guess. Let's make this, sorry, okay, let's make this bigger and see. Yeah, that's how I want it to look like. Okay, actually, and we are done with the navigation. Don't worry, I will do the responsive part at the end of this video. Okay, now let's head over to our index.html, and we need to actually work on the main content now. The navigation is done. Okay, now here let's add some comment. He's saying main content starts here, and one more comment for main content ends here. Okay, now I'm going to define a container. Remember I said the container, I will be using that container class over and over again. Here it is. Okay, and I also want the it to be have the class name of main. So inside this, remember in the final version which I showed, there were 2 columns, right? There were 4 posts and 2 columns, each having 2 posts. Okay, columns. Okay, now let's define those first. I'm gonna add comment column 1 one more comment for column 2. Okay, here let's define the column. Okay, that's it for the column 1, and let's also define another column. Okay, inside this column okay, we are going to have a post right inside this column, and inside this column also we are going to have a post. Okay, let's start building that. Okay, here post, first thing I'm going to have is img image, and the source is going to be, I think I didn't get the images, so let me grab those images first. Okay, the images are actually over here. Don't worry, you are gonna get the link to these images in the description of this video. You can get these images from over there. So the first image which I will be using over here is inside the images folder. That should be post1.jpg. Okay, there we have our big image. Okay, now right after the image, I'm going to define one more div with the class name of post info. It's going to contain the information about our post. The first information is s2, the post title, of course, become web developer. Assume if I am writing a blog post on becoming a web developer. Okay, that's the title. And right after this title, we will have the user info. It's going to contain the information about the user. The user is going to have the avatar, images, and avatar.png, and he's going to have his name. Let's say my name. Okay, and it's going to have one more span for date. Let's say it was published August 1, 2021. Let's add a comma beside my name. Okay, and we are going to have one more span tag for the hashtag. That's going to be for the tech. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we have our avatar and my name. Okay, everything is coming. Okay, and right after the user info, inside the post info only, I will have the description, right? So lorem with 25 words. Okay, there we have our dummy text here actually. And okay, inside one column we have this one post, and okay, inside one column we have this post, and inside one more column I'm gonna paste this post. Let's copy this. Let's say okay, over from here I'm gonna copy this post to another column. Okay, paste. And the image which I will be using for the post is for this post 3 jpeg. Okay, now we have the two posts, one column over here and another column over here. Okay, now we need to actually fix these using CSS. So let's head over to our CSS. I'm gonna add some comments. Main, okay, main and post. Okay, as I said, the main, I'm gonna make the column, I want the two columns, right? So width is going to be 48%. It's not going to get applied yet. We need to actually target the post image. Post, it's having the class name of post img, right? Let's see the post. Okay, I need to actually give a class name for this post img as post img. Okay, let's target that post img. The width is going to be 100%. Make the 100%, and there we have it, 100%. It's actually 100% of this column with 48%. Okay, the height is going to be 350 pixels, and object fit to cover so that it doesn't ruin the aspect ratio of the image. Okay, now Actually I need to give the class as well to this over here, img, sorry, post img. Okay, let's resize this and see what do we have here. Okay, there we have our post looking very ugly. Let's use CSS now. Okay, I'm gonna target this avatar, which is let's say user info and img. Okay, let's target that user info img. I'm gonna give a width of 2.5 rem to make it small. Now let's target the user info, which is having all of this information. That should be this user info, display of flex, align items to the center, and margin 1 rem to the top and bottom, and 0 to left and right. Okay, there we have our. Okay, now let's target the span tags, user info, those span tags, margin to the left of 0.5 rem, and also a color of gray. Okay, there we have our. Okay, now I need to actually make this a different color, right? For that I need to actually say user info and span. I'm gonna target the nth child of 4, and for that I need to set the color as crimson. Okay, there we have different color applied to that. Okay, now let's target the paragraph tag, which is inside the post. You can target by saying post info paragraph, or you can directly say post paragraph. Both are same. Okay, here I will say post paragraph, font size of 0.9 rem, line height of 1.5 rem, opacity of 0.6. Okay, now text align to justify. Okay, now let's actually target the whole post. I want the background color to white. Okay, there we have our background color applied white, and I need to add the box shadow, RGBA 0, 0, 0, and alpha value 0.1, 0 pixels, 10 pixels, 15 pixels, minus 3 pixels, and one more RGBA value of 0, 0, 0, and 0.05, 0 pixels, 4 pixels, 6 pixels, minus 2 pixels. Okay, there we have our slight little box shadow. Okay, now I need to actually set the margin to the top 3 rem, so that it was actually touching the navigation bar, right? So I don't want that to happen, so I set the margin top to the 3 rem. Let's make this a bigger. Okay, that's how it's gonna look, as you can see. Now let's work a little bit further more. Now let's target the post info. That should be this one, post info, padding of 1 rem all around, so that it applies padding over here. Okay, now it's time for bringing this column over here. These are actually two columns, right? This post is inside one column and this post is inside one column. By saying display flex, we can bring this over here, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna target is the container with the class name of main. I can't target the container because I'm also using this container over here, right? So I can't do that. I can target the container with the class name of main, I can do that. As you can see, we have the column 1 and column 2. Okay, let's set display for flex and see what happens. Container main, let's say display of flex. Okay, there we have it, our post. We are still not done yet. I need to say justify content of space between, so that it leaves some space, and I need to actually add some padding. Padding is going to be 0 to the top and bottom and 0.875 rem to the left and right. Okay, there we have our post, right? Now let's actually add some margin to the top. It's actually leaving a lot of space at the margin top. I don't want that, so here I need to set it as minus 1.5 rem, so that little space is applied. If you want more space, you can just remove this. Okay, now let's add the hover effect for these. Okay, I can do that by saying post info, right? Post info is having the s2, so I can do that. Post info s2. I want the text decoration to underline, actually, when I hover on it, and the cursor should turn to pointer. Okay, that's it. There we have our effect. Okay, let's add few more posts, one in this column and another one in this column. Let's copy this post one more time. Okay, we have two posts over here. Let's say Wednesday. Okay, we have one more post over here. I need to actually change the image. Let's set it as post 2. And finally, let's also copy paste these one more time, so that each column has two posts. And this one is post 4, but this one is not going to be JPEG, it's just JPG. Okay, there we have our 4 posts. Now we are done with the posts, and let's actually work on the footer inside the index.html, where we have the ending over here, the main content ends over here. When the main content ends, the footer starts. And one more comment for footer ends. Let's define the footer. Oh, not footer. Okay, inside the footer we are going to have a div with the class name of container and footer. Inside the footer it's going to be simple, just a paragraph saying feature coders copyright symbol. I'm going to grab the copyright symbol and paste it, and 2021. Let's see. Okay, there we have our footer. That's it for the HTML. Now let's add the styling for the footer. Let's target the footer, margin to the top of 3 rem, so that it leaves some space. Okay, and background color of white, and let's add some box shadow of 0 pixels, 0 and 5 pixels, and RGBA value of 0, 0, 0 and alpha value of 0.1. So there we have a slight little box shadow. Okay, now let's target the container with footer. For that I need to actually set the text align to the center, so that the text comes to the center. And finally a padding of 1 rem to the top and bottom and 0.875 rem to the left and right. Okay, there we have our footer. Let's resize this and check. Okay, there we have our completed blog website, but it's actually not done yet. That's because, let me show you, it's not responsive. As you can see, it's not even responsive. So we need to add some media queries to fix this. Okay, and I'm gonna add some media queries. Let's see. Let's bring my VS Code over here. Okay, that's fine. Now let's add some media queries and make this blog responsive. Observe guys, I'm gonna add media query max width of 800 pixels. When the max width is 800 pixels and below that, these styles are gonna apply for that. First, I don't want to display the navigation. I want to display the navigation menu icon, right? So here I will target the header navigation. That should be, let me show you visually. Okay, we are targeting, let's see, and we are targeting the header, and inside that we are targeting the navigation. I don't want that, and all I have to do is display none, and it's gone. And I want to display the menu toggle icon. Remember, I set it as display of none. Here I will say container, sorry, it should be, it's in the header, right? In the header, menu toggle, and I will say display of flex so that it appears. And let's make it a little bit bigger, 1.3 rem font size. Okay, and cursor to pointer. So when I hover on it, the cursor is turning to pointer. Let's make this small. Okay, once we are done with that, okay, and I also don't want to display two posts over here, right? I want to display full one post. So that for that, let's target the container. Remember, for the container main, I set it as display of flex, and yes, display of flex. By default, it's going to be in the row, right? Here, this container, and I can't actually target the whole container class. I need to actually target the main. Okay. Now, let's set it as display of flex. Nothing happens yet, but I'm going to change the flex direction to column. See guys, the flex direction is going to make them appear in the column wise. Okay. Now remember, I also set the column width to 48%, right? I need to actually change that. Where is it? Okay, in the main I target the column, and the column width I set it as 48%. Now I want the width to 100%, so I'm going to target that main and column width of 100%. Okay, there we have our post, full post. If I resize this screen again, as you can see, it's completely responsive. And one more final thing which we should work on is this mobile navigation. Okay, if I click on this, a menu should open up, right? So that's what I will be working on now we need to actually work on the JavaScript. Okay, let's head over to our script.js file. So to navigation to work, when I click on this, it should actually add a navigation to it should actually add an active class to the navigation, right? So let's actually grab those. First I need access to this menu icon so that I can add an event listener to the click, and I also want the navigation. So let's grab those. Here I will define const menu toggle. I can grab get document dot query selector. It's having the class name of menu toggle. Okay, I have access to the button now. I also want the access to navigation. I will say document dot query selector and navigation. Remember, I'm getting access to navigation because in the media query actually set it as display of none, right? Okay, now once we have access to those both, let's add the menu toggle and event listener for that, so that I can listen for the click. when the user clicks on the menu, I need this function to run. Inside this function, menu toggle, I'm gonna change the class of the menu toggle and toggle an active class, saying the menu is active now and I want to display the menu. Okay. Similarly, for the navigation, and I'm also going to add the navigation active class to the navigation. Let me show you so that you can understand. Where we have the menu toggle, sorry, this one, navigation. Observe when I click on it, as you can see, the active class is being added to the menu toggle as well as the navigation. Okay, there we have it. Now once we add the active class, we need to actually do one more thing over here. If the menu toggle dot class list, if it contains an active class, if the menu toggle actually contains an active class, I don't want to display this icon, right? I want to display the close icon. So for that, if it contains like that, I'll say menu toggle. I'll just change the inner HTML, and over here I will define the new icon. Actually, okay, inside the quotes, I with the class name of FAS. I think it should be in the double quotes now. FAS, FA times, and let's close those. Similarly, an else case, and I want it to be the same icon, FAS, FA bars, so that it toggles. Okay, let's close this. Okay, observe when I click on it, as you can see, the icon actually turned to the cross icon, and when I click on it again, the menu bars is appearing. Okay, that's it for the JavaScript. Now let's actually head over to our style.css. Okay, now we need to actually work on this. Let's click on this. So now we have added the, where we have it, okay, active class. Based on that, here, if the navigation is having an active class, if the navigation is having the active class, for that I need to set the display of flex so that menu appears position of fixed, top for rem from the top. Let's add some background and set it as white, width of 100% so that it takes all the width, and as you can see, it's in the left, it's actually leaving some space, so I need to fix that. Left 0, done. Justify content to the center, and flex direction of column, padding of 1.25 rem, and finally the animation which I need to define. Animation is going to be, the animation name is going to be slide is going to be for 0.2 seconds and is, and I also need to set the align items to center. Okay, there we have it. Now the one thing I need to do is add the animation. So to add the animation, I'm going to use the keyframes. Here I already defined over here. I now need to define the actual animation keyframes. Slide 0% at the 0%, it's going to be at the left minus 300 pixels, and at the 100% it's going to be at the left 0. Now again, now if I click on it, as you can see, the animation is appearing. Now few more things which I need to do here is right after the keyframes I need to target the header, the navigation. Inside the header and the list item, I need to set the margin to the left. Remember, I actually set some margin to the left at the beginning, so I'm going to set it as margin to the left 0 rem and padding 1 rem to the top and bottom and 0 rem to the left, 0 to the left and right. Okay. Now if I click on it, as you can see, there we have our mobile navigation menu and we have just completed our build. Let's see. There we have our completed responsive simple blog website. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Okay guys, it's done. That's it guys for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed and hope you guys learned something from this video. For more videos like these, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and also don't forget to leave a like on this video. So I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.